or trade up back in that round. They got Gart, they didn't get Sanders, and the fall was on at that point.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Cosmo was supposed to fight Ciaran Clark, but he had the pull-off injury. You get the call. You get to go in there. What was it like for you when you got that call, jumping in there and be part of this bantamweight tournament on short notice?
Terrifying, man. 2 weeks notice against a stud, but I've been preparing for my whole life for it, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity, and saw what happened. I came in there and kind of shocked the world. Not kind of, I did.
Only on SportsGrid.
Malaysia Fawali, who you guys know I am a huge fan, has decided to switch allegiances and stay in league. And now she's going to go play for Kim Mulkey. Her, Flau'jae Johnson in the backcourt. It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder sometimes with roster construction, maybe too much is not too good.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You don't think that there's something to the fact that they blow all these leads against the Edmonton Oilers? It's like the Oilers can be down 4 goals and they come back like it's nothing.
We got a series now. I think this thing is going to reset, Scott. I think home ice advantage is going to hold true in this series. I think I told you that last week. I'm expecting this. I picked the Kings in 7 before the series started, and it's like plus 700.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on Sport.
And welcome in. It's in-game live game day on this terrific Thursday, a money-making Thursday. Yours truly, Scott Wetzel, along with Dave Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern time as the NBA playoffs continue. So does the NHL playoffs. We got 6 combined elimination games tonight, which is always a lot of fun. As good as playoff hockey is, elimination hockey and elimination basketball is even better. And we got a couple of baseball games we can put a couple of shekels on as well. Plus the Black Clouds, SGPs, our 5 on the line trends coming up here in a couple seconds. Busy lineup of guests, Tom Vecchio, a little hockey with him, Adam Kaufman, and our good buddy Cam Stewart to close out the program. What's going on, Dave? How are you tonight, bud?
Man, I'm good. Big night. Yeah, little big night. So I got the night stuff on, the road jersey, home jersey worked the other night. We'll see if it works tonight for the Knights. I like them to, you're talking about closing out series and winning it. I think they do it. I picked this one up on my trip back east when I saw you and we did the show in the studio. I'd never had a Toronto Maple Leaf hat in my life. It's been a while since they won a playoff series, let alone an elimination game. I figured tonight was as good a night as any to break it out and wear it. So go Maple Leafs. Austin Matthews even got the goal. How about that?
They got 2. They just added another one. I'm not sure who did. Yeah, I'm not sure who did. They just did it. Hit the horn. Hit the horn. He kicked off the program. Let's see who got this one. Matthews twice. Wow. You talk about exercising some deep. At least the 4-letter network is giving a credit to Matthews anyway. Maybe they changed it. But wow. That would be huge, right? I mean, let's face it. Without really having a dog in the fight, I do think it's kind of funny that Toronto can't win. They're 1-13, Dave, in elimination games. 1-13. They can't win, right? Everyone's to blame Austin Matthews, rightfully so. All the others should deserve some blame too. But if they're able to win, clinch the series, clinch it on the road, and get Matthews to be the hero as he's setting up right now with 2 goals, I mean, that really exercises, I would think, a lot of demons, right?
Exercises a lot of things, yes. Nylander got the second goal. So just so, I don't know if Matthews.
Okay.
Yeah. Nylander got the second goal. But yes, 2-0 for Toronto. That's good. They went off as the dog, right when the game closed. The in-game number now would have you laying 7-1. Are you comfortable laying 7-1 in a hockey game in the second period? 7-1. Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. We got to get how many, we've sent out a poll question, which is a pretty good question. How many teams, or which team actually is our question. Which team, we should have done a how many actually. But which team likely clinches the playoff series tonight in the NHL? Toronto's obviously got a 2-0 lead, so that might now be the majority of the picks. But how many do you think series survive tonight? Does Ottawa win? Minnesota win? Colorado, Edmonton, 1, 2, 3? But there's our poll question. Which one most likely wins?
I'm hoping we get 2 at least. Because game 7s are always great. But I like Toronto and I like Vegas, so it's going to have to be the 2 late games. Speaking of late, we're almost going to be late. We got to get to this 5 on the line. It's in the first segment every day on In-Game Live right here on SportsGrid. Give the people what they want, Wetzel.
All right, 5 best trends. Here we go. Time for 5 on the line. All right, these are the 5 best trends of games that have yet to get underway. Generally speaking, we like to do that whenever possible. And it was a test tonight because there's really not that many late games with so few baseball games. But we did get it in. So all these games have yet to start. So plenty of time to get your shekels in on these. We went 4-1 yesterday. We hit there, you see, with Winnipeg. We hit with the Brewers. We hit with the under A's Texas, which, oh, by the way, had another under this afternoon. We hit with Kyle Connor with the shots on goal. The only one we lost with was Blues and Winnipeg Jets. As you see there, I don't know how that series is an over series, but you know what? It just is. So, all right, so that was yesterday. We're now, by the way, 88-61, 27 games over 500 if you just play these religiously, which is obviously pretty darn good. So with that said, here we go, our 5 best trends for tonight. We'll start from 5 and work our way to the best one. Number 5, and this probably deserves to be number 5, right? Clippers, 13-2 straight up, last 15 games at home. Now, they did lose game 4 at home, so they're more than capable of losing, but it's an elimination game. Denver, 2 emotional wins back-to-back. I really would be surprised, so I do like this one. Clippers, 13-2 their last 15. So where are we going to go? Let's go. Now we fool around with the money, with the point spreads. Clippers minus 260 at home against Denver.
They better win this game. Boy, oh boy. This is the game. Yeah. This has to win. I like what you did. No point spread. Just win a game. Go Clippers. We'll see you in game 7.
All right, hockey, pick number 4. A surprising one, really. When you sometimes you do these numbers, you're like, wow, really? Colorado, 7 straight unders, believe it or not, at home. And Dallas is 5-1 under on the road, their last 6 road games. So where are we going to go? How about, there you go, under 6.5, Dallas and Colorado tonight.
Well, unders are tough right now in the NHL playoffs. So hopefully this is not too big of a sweat, but 3-2 final. Here we go.
Yeah. Other side of the coin, how about some overs? LA Kings, 7 straight overs, obviously going back to the regular season. 4-0 or 5-0 actually in this series, which is just amazing to me. In fact, 10 of the last 14 meetings between these 2 teams have actually gone over between LA and Edmonton. So where are we going to go? Winners bet with streaks, right? Losers bet against streaks. Let's go over 5.5, LA and Edmonton.
You did something the other night. You went under in the first period in that series, and it worked.
It hit.
Hopefully, we get multiple goals tonight in the first period, and that thing goes over. I like it.
Okay. Number 2 on our hit list, top 5 trends for this evening. Baseball. Detroit Tigers, maybe not that much of a surprise, but a little bit in my world. Best record in the American League, 19-12. LA Angels, meanwhile, 2-8 their last 10 games. Added together, where are we going to go tonight? Detroit Tigers, minus 132 at the Angels without Mike Trout in the lineup.
If it wasn't a playoff night and the Knights were playing, I would have had the Tiger stuff on. That is my favorite play of the night, but we still have the big one left, number 1.
The coup de grace, the creme de la creme, number 1, numero uno, best trend of the night. And I don't know how many times this trend is going to get knocked off. This is going to be like Larry Holmes when he was the heavyweight champ, right? I mean, it's going to be something really spectacular to beat him. Baseball, Colorado, 5-25. this season. Worst record by far in baseball, only 1-14 on the road. By far, worst road record in baseball. So they're playing at San Francisco, which just happens to be 9-4 at home as well. Add it all up, number one trend, boys. San Francisco minus the 260 versus Colorado. I know it's a big number, Dave, but we're 27 games over 500. When you're that far over 500, you lay the wood versus the 1.5. Don't fool around.
You're not even afraid. That's fine. There's a couple big numbers on there, but the Giants I like better as far as money lines. They're same price with the Clippers. This is the biggest money line of the year for the Giants. Don't be afraid. They're going to beat the Rockies.
Yeah. Justin Verlander is not losing to Colorado. There's just no way. Just underway, in-game live, more coming up. You're on the grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Trying to figure out finances here in the break. Change from the hockey. How about that? Don't write off the Ottawa Senators just yet. Welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave just underway. Senators score during the break, Dave. So it's now 2-1 Toronto. Midway through the second period, about 12 minutes left. So 6.5 is your total. This might be the high-scoring game. I really thought this would be a higher-scoring series than what it was. It's one of the fewer lower-scoring ones because it seemed like it's been like one side or the other, not like the 4-3, 5-4 shootouts. So, but this might be the one. So Ottawa's not dead yet. Now, like you talk about exercising all those demons. Now, if Toronto was to lose after taking a 2-0 lead,
no.
My goodness!
Don't say it.
Now you're talking. We wouldn't have Cam as a guest. We'd have to tell the guys to go get another guest because Cam.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want if Toronto is losing or does that when Cam comes on later. You know, I'm gonna feel really bad. Brady Tkachuk with the goal, got a deflected goal. We were talking about the in-game number being -700. That was way too high. I mean, even if Ottawa doesn't come back, these things flip so fast. The in-game number is now, drum roll, -350. So even -300 at one place, plus 220. So 4-1 in the last 5 road games for Toronto. Ottawa's playing as good as anybody, 15-8 in the last 23. So I think we'll have we're not done scoring yet in Ottawa. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Minnesota scored, speaking of which. Tied up Vegas 1-1. They must have done it in the final seconds of the first period because the first period is over. And that was 1-0. So let me just double check and see. Oh, I think 4 seconds left. Really?
Yep.
Oh, 6 seconds left. Wow. That's a killer.
That's a killer. Yeah. They're not going down without a fight. The Wild are not going down without a fight. The last game went to overtime. Their goalie's not playing, but that's okay. They, I don't know. Oh, no, Gustafsson is in. That's good. Okay. I didn't know Gustafsson was going to play. Okay. So that's going to be all the way down to the end, too. Multiple goals. Probably both teams. Well, the Wild get the next goal. I mean, it's plus 130 right now. Back to the original number, -160, plus 130. Do you like it? I like the actually over in that game today.
Yeah. Another series where it's basically been all over. I think it's 4-1. I think they had the 1 under. Memory serves me right. Yeah, 4-1 over. I'm really surprised. Listen, I know Vegas is good, but Minnesota's a good team. I'm really surprised that Minnesota's been this big of a home underdog. I mean, that's like a one-sided. It's not like -120, 130, right? I mean, 170 on the road against a decent Minnesota team that's got, the problem is they didn't have these guys, Kaprizov and he's their best player, Eric Sinek. They got him back. They're a different team with those guys in the lineup. So little surprise. So I like them plus the 132. I take a flyer on, I got Toronto, so I'm not going to bet Ottawa right now. But if I didn't, I love betting on these teams that score last. They got all the momentum in the world, all the mojo. Toronto's now on its heels. That place is no doubt rocking. Give me the Sens plus the 220, 210, 220 on FanDuel. So
makes perfect sense. And even in game right now, like second period, it's 1-1 in Vegas and Minnesota. I like the second period over in that one. I mean, we might get the second period over in Ottawa and Toronto, which I have on now, but I think Vegas and Minnesota at least both score. So if there's, you got a total available for second period total, I think that one's live too.
Yeah. You think about what flipped in that goal with 6 seconds left, right? And you just don't appreciate the fact this happens all the time. When you have your bad beats, right? You think it's just you. Oh, I'm bad luck, this, that, what have you, right? But it happens basically every single game. You could have had, Minnesota, you could have had Vegas, right? First period, thinking they're going to come out flying. You could have had the under 1.5. You could have had, under a half a goal for Minnesota. That's 3 right there that flipped just like that because they scored with 6 seconds left, Minnesota.
Correct. Yep.
Amazing.
I mean, that's the beauty of the hockey. Very similar to soccer in that regard. A little bit like baseball, too. You can have, today, the Pirates were leading 2-0 in the 5th inning. You have under 4 in the first 5, and the Cubs come up in the top of the 5th and hit 3 solo shots. Solo shot against Skeens. So you had under there, no good. You had Pirates first 5 with Skeens, no good. Cubs, end up winning the first 5, and then they end up winning the game. So yeah, it's it flips. We always remember the bad beats specific to us, but as many bad beats as you have personally, the next guy has it too. And believe me, being in the book, I've heard bad beat stories for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, I was working with Joe Madden right on weekends. This poor girl, she had one of those streaks where it's just like, man, Joe, you don't know what to do. Cry or laugh, right? Because she had, I forget what the other two were. One was someone scored just like this with like 4 seconds left, and she had the under 1.5, and that made it 1-1. She lost that. There was another goofy one, and then Dave, she had this is all the same day, right? While we're on the air, she had under 4.5 runs. It was Cincinnati and somebody, maybe in the Cubs, doesn't matter, right? It's nothing, bottom of the 5th inning with 1 out, nobody on base. They scored 5 runs.
Those ones leave them work. Yeah.
I felt so bad. It's just like, oh my goodness. So it does happen, folks, to everybody. You think it's just you, but it happens to everybody. So you play when you play 1,000 games, it's bound to be. It's just all these games, not all, but a lot of these games come down to the wire. You just have to have hopefully you get as many good breaks as you do bad breaks. That's all. So
yes, sir.
Knicks by 9 over Detroit. So we'll get back to this. We got our SGP. Did you like New York? I like the Knicks tonight. I think they get the win.
Not watching the basketball. I mean, if I had to pick a side, I think I would take Detroit. I think they extend the series.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a peek at that. 49-43 right now. Knicks by 6. A couple seconds left. Midway through the second quarter. All right, SGP coming up next.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
I told you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a tape
I'm not doing that. The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play.
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
There were
pick
2
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 1 of our 2-hour extravaganza, as we like to call it here on SportsGrid. Time for a little SGP same game parlay. I'm going to use little hoops tonight, Dave, as we got the Clippers and Denver Nuggets starting in a little bit, about an hour and a half or so from now. Elimination game for L.A., down 3-2 after really, being in control somewhat of this series, nearly taking a 2-0 lead, winning both games in Denver, but they got the split. But things have turned for the worse for them. I think it goes back to being a Clipper game. I really do. I'd be surprised. It's tough to beat a team 3 straight times, which is what Denver would have to do. And we've seen these situations, although the Lakers didn't come through last night, but Houston did. This is a much even series, I think, than Houston, LA, and Minnesota. So we'll pitch our 6-leg parlay. We'll go with the Clippers minus the 265. Won't worry about laying the 6 points. We'll go under 212 Denver and Clippers. Clippers a monster under team at home. They're an over team on the road. They go back to doing what they do best, play defense. I am going to go Kawhi Leonard, 25 points or more. Facing elimination, if this guy doesn't get at least 25 tonight, he's been hot and cold in this series. He's got to step up, so I think he will. We'll go Zubac with 10 rebounds. He gets that in the first quarter alone. That's no big deal, minus 430. Then we will go with the Joker, 2 steals, minus 130. The guy's got 1 steal in 11 straight games, including 2 in 9 out of those 11. So that really bumped up this price quite a bit, too. So I'll take my chances. He gets 2 stinking steals. And then we're going to go Jamal Murray under 26.5 points. Little juice. We did an adjusted number. He's real good, but he's up and down like a lot of these, average to above average players as I classify him. I don't think he's a superstar. So he had a phenomenal game 5. I think he comes back to the pack, gets maybe 20 points. And he goes under the 26.5 in a lower scoring game. So nice little 6-legger, and it pays almost 10 to 1.
You got a lot of stuff on there. Why did you pick the steals for Jokic? All the things you could pick for Jokic, and you picked the steals?
Yeah, because I've seen him score only 15 points. Get a triple-double, but just not be into it. So I didn't want to do the doubles, the double-double. That was like a whopping number. But the guy gets a couple steals every game, So that's who, and that's probably why it's only minus 130, because who the hell besides me is betting Jokic to get steals, right? But then if you look at his log, the guy gets 2, 3, 4 steals every game, basically. So
okay, well, that was the one thing that's jumped out to me. The other one is, I like the fact that you put the Clippers there in the money line. The total, you worried we got to sweat this total? That might be one of those ones. I like the under as well, but hopefully, we don't put it on them for this. Listen, last night the Lakers didn't get it done. Okay, tonight it's on the Clippers and the Kings to extend their series. Is it a wrap though?
Done.
They can go to win Game 7. You think the Clippers can go to Denver and win Game 7? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, they should have won. Which one did they win? Game 1 or 2? Whichever one they won. They could have won the other one, but they blew the. I think they blew Game 1, right? Whatever it is. Yeah. But they could have won both games in Denver. There. They did get blown out in Game 5. I'll grant you that. But yeah, they did a veteran team. It's not a young team, and I don't think Denver's really that good. I love the Joker, but I think Murray's he's a real good player, but I don't think he's like a super duper star, and I'm not in love with the rest of the guys on that team. So, could they win there? Yeah. I give the Clippers a better chance of winning in Denver than I do LA winning tonight and at home, if that makes any sense.
The Kings, you mean?
Yeah, what I say, Kings, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because the Kings are on the road tonight, so their road game is Game 6, whereas they would get Game 7 at home. But I think the Clippers are better off, have a better chance, like I said, of winning the next 2 than the Kings.
Okay. The parlay's close to the same, actually. Actually, it's probably pays more for the Kings because you get the big plus right now. You won't get that big of a plus, I don't think, with the Clips. So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting night. It was an interesting night last night. No more Laker talk. What are we going to do?
Yeah. Amazing. Tom Vecchia, a little hockey talk coming up next here on the Grid.
your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side
DRS.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't
the
that
best
he wasn't as
quarterback
good as
prospect
Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told you
incorrect.
he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have a
down on a
decent
take
No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
there were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the history
Stop
of the
it.
sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young and
State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
And welcome back. It is in-game live game day on the grid. Hour number 1 midway through. It's time to get our first guest on board. It's a good buddy. You see it here all the time here on SportsGrid Radio, SportsGrid TV as well. Mr. Tom Vecchio. Talked a little pucks with him. What's going on, Tom? How are you tonight, bud?
I'm doing good. I'm on the Maple Leafs money line. Earlier today I talked about it, minus 108 there about. I'm on Karl-Anthony Towns under for that game overall, and Kawhi over 11.5 rebounds plus assists for later.
I'm also on Toronto. I'm worried. It's 2-1. There's 4 minutes left. Ottawa got that big goal from Tkachuk. Do you think the Senators tie this game?
I don't know. They've been really the Maple Leafs. They've been really suppressing the shots. At least they did so well in the first period. I don't think, even if they tied, I do think the Leafs come away with the win. And I think it's really important that the Leafs got that first goal. Like, they really needed to take some of the emotion out of the arena for the Sens, because if they were to give up that first goal and or they tie it and then give up another goal, like, that emotion starts creeping in for the Maple Leafs. Like I said this morning on the early line, the Sens were playing with house money today, right? Like they know the struggles that the Leafs have had. So scoring first was paramount for the Leafs today.
What would happen, Tom, if they were to actually lose this game? Dave and I were talking about it. The perfect start, right? They got the 2-0 lead. Austin Matthews, one of the villains, he gets one of the 2 goals. I mean, it was set up perfectly for them. Okay, exercise a few demons. If they blow this game with a 2-0 lead, wow. I mean, I don't know how they would come back and win a Game 7, right?
Yeah, I mean, Game 7, again, that point, like, Ottawa playing with house money. Like, they have nothing to lose. And the fact that they have finally made the playoffs and, like, up until this point, they have essentially been, like, little brother in this rivalry. Because they haven't been in the playoffs in, 2017 last time they were in? And the Maple Leafs constantly, they make the playoffs, but the fact that they would lose to the inferior team the first time that team finally made the playoffs, that would be a disaster. Mitch Marner would leave in the offseason. It'd be terrible.
Playing with house money, you could say the same for the Wild right now, although they could be leading this series 3-2 after the way that last game went. They got that, unfortunate offsides call, turned around the game, and the Knights won. It's 1-1 after 1. Side total, anything that you looked at in that one that you liked?
Yeah, I was talking about it this morning. I really still think the live under is the play at this point, under 6.5. Like, these teams don't want to get out and run. I know we've seen a lot of scoring, thus far in the series, but under 6.5, I think, is the play right now. It is minus 140, at least that I'm seeing on FanDuel, but it's really got to be what we see from these teams. Like, buckle down on defense. The Golden Knights, they don't have Pavel Dorofeo tonight, like their top goal scorer. He's been okay throughout the playoffs, but he was awesome in the regular season. Like, this is just not going to be a track meet.
So you expected an under then maybe in a game?
Yeah, under 6.5, I think is a fine spot to take it now.
Okay. How about Dallas, Colorado? I thought Colorado was going to win it all, but who knows? They're down 3-2. They're not going to lose in 6, right?
No, I don't think they lose in 6. It's a tough spot for me personally. I do have a Dallas take it. I do want to see the Avs, push this to 7 games, but I don't think there's an effective way to bet this game ultimately. Minus 196 is not a spot that I want to lay in, on a money line. Then you would say like, in a normal regular season game, would I look to, the 60-minute line? But I don't want to do that in the playoffs. That's just not a spot I like to be going. So again, under 6.5, I think is a spot to go. And I think the Avs score first. When they get the crowd behind them at home, especially when they play it, playing at altitude, they are in a spot to really pour in the goals. But Avs score, they win this game 4-1, 3-1.
You surprised by the Edmonton and the Kings line? Because I am. I mean, it was a little bit lighter earlier today, and some huge steam has come. I mean, there's places that are minus 175 right now on Edmonton. And I'll tell you what, LA had this series early. Edmonton's taking control, especially after what I saw in Game 5. I'm like, man, I think this one might be over tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the tough thing. Like, I have the Kings winning this in 7 games, like, direct outcome at 4-3. So it is a tough spot. I can understand why the money is pouring in on the Oilers. I will say, even if I had no bets on the series, like nothing at all involved in this, I think the right bet to make tonight would be the Kings to win the series at plus 360. This is not to say that they were to do it, but effectively, you getting them at the money line, instead of betting that it was a plus 170, plus 140 for their money line, you bet them at plus 360, then it leaves you the hedge opportunity if it does go to that final game. So that would still play I would recommend if you don't have any action on this series. But I think the Oilers do get it done tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's not easy. I will say it's not a sweep, obviously, but they would be winning their 4th straight game over LA. And whether it's the first 4 or the middle 4, that's tough to do, right? How about the over-under, Tom? I love the under in this series. I bet it like the first 3 games, and then finally I've given up. It's been nothing but overs. I can't figure it out. It's only 5.5, little juice, minus 142. But I do like playing overs in elimination games, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I could see this being a first period over. You can bet the over 5.5, maybe a first period over 1.5, but it may still actually end under 6.5. So I'm going to be waiting to see if there's an early goal. Then I want to jump live under 6.5. I know that can be it's a tough middle, exactly 6 goals. Them winning this game 4-2. 5-1, whatever it might be, the Oilers that is. But I think there's opportunity for that. And again, I do have action in this series, so I have to figure out the exact math. Do I want to pour more into it? Then they score, but then they don't win, the Kings that is, then I have to lose this other bet. So I think under 6.5 live is the actual play for this game.
You and Donnie do pro baseball today on every Sunday morning. And you're talking about baseball, watching baseball. What do you make of the Colorado Rockies? I mean, we put them on the 5 on the line every day. I mean, the Giants are minus 265, 270 today. You can't even touch the Rockies ever. They end up winning yesterday and beating Sale, but there's no case for them to be made tonight, is there?
No, and I think part of it is, the White Sox won today earlier. They beat Milwaukee. So I assume this is going to be the case with the Rockies and or the White Sox, since they're both just terrible, is that the day after they win, however infrequent that is, that next game, the money's just going to be pouring in on the other side just because, listen, they're they're only going to win 45, 50 games. They're not going to be winning multiple games in a row. So I'm not surprised to see the Giants, and maybe it's some name recognition with Verlander still on the mound for the Giants, that people are, it's the Rockies, they're terrible, they've already won 1 in a row, and now it's going to be Verlander. I think that's the way to do it. You could bet the minus 1.5. I wouldn't lay the minus 260. Maybe if you already paired that off with a team from earlier today, or you're looking to pair that off with, I don't know, the Knicks or the Clippers forcing a game tonight, that's a way to do it, but minus 260, it's baseball. I don't love that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Even the other game, how about Detroit and the LA Angels? Well, the Angels got off to a nice little start this year, right? It's 7-3, and they won a couple of games since, nothing but losses, and no Mike Trout.
Yeah, so Casey Mize has been solid this year. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. He's a former top prospect from them. Doesn't have a super high strikeout rate, but this is more about their hitting, because Yusei Kikuchi is not a pitcher I'm worried about. He's got a 20% strikeout rate, a 12% walk rate, if I remember correctly. Also, the BABIP, which is batting average of balls in play, not good. And the Tigers offense, they're cooking this year, right? Torkelson's having a great year. Riley Green went through a big slump, but he looks to be back. Kerry Carpenter hits bombs. Javi Baez is even having a great year. Zach McKinstry could be an all-star. He gets on base. Like, Detroit has all the pieces that you want, led by Skubal, led by Flaherty. They have Jackson Jobe and the young pitchers. Like, they have everything that you possibly want. They win the division.
You got 30 seconds. Clippers win tonight and force a game 7, yes or no?
They do. Kawhi over 11.5 rebounds plus assists.
Yeah, big game from Kawhi. He's got it. He's got to have a big game, Tom, right? I mean,
tonight's not about the offense. They've been scoring on offense. It's about turning up on defense and doing the other things, keeping the Nuggets from scoring.
And they can win in Denver, right? Game 7?
Denver wins.
Oh,
but they can win. But they can win, though, right? Yeah. It's not like an afterthought. So, Tom Vecchio, great job, Tom. As always, do appreciate it. Check him out all the time here on the Grid, SportsGrid Radio, SportsGrid TV. All right, David, I have more coming up here on the Grid.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It is
just told
incorrect.
you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have a
down on a
decent
take
season. No, I'm
that
not
is
doing
incorrect
that. The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
there were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the
Stop
history of
it.
the sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young
State.
and Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Thanks again, Tom Vecchio, for joining us. As he does from time to time, do appreciate a couple of minutes with him. Poll question of the night. Which NHL team most likely clinches its playoff series tonight? You got 4 elimination games going on, 2 in progress, 2 that'll be starting in a little bit. Toronto, Vegas, Dallas, or Edmonton. So far, early voting in. Edmonton at 29% leading the way. Dallas at 20%. Vegas and Toronto, as it moves, as we say, both tied at 24%. So pretty good vote so far. Fairly even across the board. Go to
Makes sense.
Picks, Sports Big Consig, and then SportsGrid for your vote.
Makes sense that Edmonton would be the number 1 choice as their, the biggest favorite.
Right.
And I don't know. Nobody believes in Toronto until they actually do it. I'm hoping they do it. Vecchio had him too. Boy, Vecchio was looking clean. That was a nice haircut. He was all shaved up. That's not a playoff beard. Can you grow a playoff beard? you're not a beard guy.
No. I used to, little goatee, but I was never into the whole beard thing. It gets too scratchy, too itchy, and then the food gets in your mustache. I used to have a mustache in college, back and forth a little bit, right? But then the food would get stuck in there and it just itch it. Nah, not for me. I wouldn't mind a little goatee. I've had that a little, a couple.
Yeah. I've always kept that even from, like the days since Curacao. I try to keep it. But I don't know how these guys do it in the NHL. I'm like, we're in the first round. But like by the time we get to June and these teams are in the, conference finals and getting ready to play for the cup, have those big bushy beards like Vinny. Can you imagine if we let Vinny go for 2 months to grow a playoff beard? We wouldn't even recognize the guy. Man.
He couldn't shave until the Mets won the World Series, right? He'd be here for the next how many years? Man. Wow. Well, who started that in hockey? That you're not supposed to shave. Yeah, the hockey's got so many goofy things. You can't touch the President's Cup or you can't drop the conference championship trophy. You can't touch the Stanley Cup trophy. You can't even mention that. They got all these goofy things. By the way, what did you think of the Scheifele hit last night? Did you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is it suspendable? I don't know.
I'm not, as I told, I'm not big on suspending guys in the postseason. There's a responsibility of the player being hit. If you didn't see it, the guy's along the boards, doesn't have the puck, so you're not really supposed to take a shot at the guy that doesn't have the puck if he's, especially if he's not paying attention, right? That's interference. That's what happened. He leveled it. He clocked him pretty good, Scheifele. And Scheifele's the best player for Winnipeg, or one of them anyway, right? So he went down. He got up, and he didn't return after the first period. So, it was a bad hit. I don't know if it was a dirty hit. It was a bad hit. But, Scheifele's got to take some responsibility. You can't be on the ice with your head down. You just can't do it, especially in the postseason. Otherwise, someone's going to take a run at you. Yeah.
And our vision of it, yours and mine, and guys that are older and girls that are older like us, remember, I mean, there were some vicious plays and hits back in the day. And, and they're trying to legislate that out of the game a little bit. It's still a physical game, and these things still happen. And the way they're playing in the playoffs, at the speed they're playing at, there's going to be collisions. I don't know. We'll see. There'll probably be some justice tomorrow taken out for that one. The best justice that Winnipeg can do is win on the road. Yeah.
One of them?
Yeah, that hurts.
Captain, right?
Yeah.
He's the captain.
It hurts.
So, do you believe in postseason suspensions? And if so, is that worthy of it? I don't think it's worthy of it. I really don't. I feel bad for the guy. He got popped. He did. But he didn't hit him in the head.
I don't think they're going to suspend them. I really don't. So, again, we'll see. It's not enough to change the odds on the series. Oh, boy. That's no good. That's very unfortunate news. That fan that fell yesterday has not made it. It passed away. Wow. Unfortunate news in Pittsburgh. So, if you guys saw that, watched that, terrible scene yesterday from the Clemente wall. It's 21 feet high, flipped over the rail and landed on the field, and is no longer with us. So I don't even know what to say. I mean, the video is unnerving. The whole thing is just, it was terrible. Yeah, it's terrible.
I'm surprised, Dave, this doesn't happen more often. Thankfully, it doesn't. If you've been to these ballparks, I mean, there are times like I'll sit in the upper deck there and you lean over the railing and it's like there's nothing there. There's no screen. There's no, I know it's like maybe chest high, but, I could see some kid running to go get a ball and he just kind of stumbles a little bit and through the thing he's going to go. I've always been amazed at that. It's like, wow, there's nothing here that stops you from going head over heels.
I know.
And he just flipped. I mean, he just you watch the video of it, and you're right, it is like gut wrenching, right? But he just kind of like stood up and just flipped over and didn't really brace himself. If you fall, you figure your arms are going to go flailing. He didn't. He just we've had two crazy incidents over the last 2 days between him, unfortunately, and then the guy that fell off the golf cart that died with John Elway. You heard about that story?
Yeah.
I mean,
that was
guy's
another
riding on a
terrible
golf cart.
story. Yeah.
And he falls off the golf cart somehow or another, and he hits his head on the concrete supposedly and dies.
Yeah.
There's got to be more to that story. Who's going to speculate? But there's got to be. You don't just fall off a golf cart and hit your head and die. I
don't
mean,
know.
just
There's accidents all the time. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just when you hear that news, it really makes you thankful for every day, and really just try to do your best to enjoy the day and enjoy the people you're with in your life and stuff like that. I mean, every single day, it's just another reminder. I mean, you go to a baseball game and something like that happens. You're right. I've been up high with the kids, and whew, it's unnerving to sit there
It is.
and worry, like, and try to enjoy the game. It's tough sometimes when you're sitting on those steep buildings like that.
Yeah. I nearly killed somebody yesterday. How about that? Yes. Yes. Serious story. I'll tell you about it when we go back after the Black Cloud.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side
Yes.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick,
Quinn
Arch
Ewers'
Manning is
team.
not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told
incorrect.
you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have a
down on a
decent
take
season. No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not
a
so.
7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the history
Stop
of
it.
the sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young
State.
and Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
And welcome back. It is in-game live game day on the grid. Scott and Dave closing out hour number 1 with you know what, our Black Cloud play of the day. Yes. A little setback last night as the Lakers let us down big time. I really didn't think they would lose, but I knew we were in trouble when Houston won the first game. The chances of both home teams extending the series weren't good. So still 28-13, but little bit of a setback. Back to the winner's window tonight, Dave. We're going to go, we'll use some chalk here. We'll do a little baseball. This can't possibly lose. It just can't. San Francisco at home against Colorado. We gave you the numbers with the 5 on the line, right? We're going to double down on this. Colorado stinks. 5-25. They're on pace for 35 wins. I mean, literally, they're on pace to obliterate the worst record set just last year by the White Sox. They're only 1-14 on the road. They're about 150 games under 500 on the road the last 4+ seasons, every year being at least 25, 30 games under. And now they're taking on a San Francisco team that, oh, by the way, is one of the better teams in the National League. And, oh, by the way, is 9-4 at home. And, oh, by the way, has Justin Verlander on the hill. And that's especially good because he's winless this season so far. So he's yet to get his first win as a San Francisco Giant. So if he was like 2-1, 3-1, maybe he'd poo-poo this thing. But he's looking to get a win. He's not losing to Colorado. No way. You want to lay the 1.5, 2.5, whatever you want to do. I think it's a 5-2, 6-2, easily type of game. Number one under team, by the way, in baseball, or number two, actually, is Colorado. So I wouldn't go too crazy with overs. But I do like San Fran. So our Black Cloud player today, we'll keep it simple. We're way ahead of the game. Give me San Fran minus the 260 against the Rocks.
I can't even – I asked Vecchio. We can ask Adam when he gets on with us next segment if there's a case to be made. I don't think there is. I got this today from my buddies over at MLB. Through April, the Rockies are one game worse than the 121-loss White Sox from last season, who were 6-24. And Colorado's schedule in May is brutal, with their next 29 games coming against teams currently above 500. Uh-oh. 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 That does not loom large for them. Yeah, so this may be a rough spring. It was obviously a rough April. April showers bring May flowers. Ain't going to be no flowers in Colorado. This is going to be – it's going to get worse, or at least stay the same.
Give me an over, seriously. All right, Dave, we need to have you post an over-under win total for the month of May for Colorado. All right, they got 4 at San Francisco, home for a 3-game set against Detroit, first place Detroit and San Diego, back on the road at Texas, at Arizona, back home for 4 against the Phillies, 3-3.
Okay.
Good.
No. I'm just counting the games. I'm counting the games.
Oh, okay.
So 4, 3, and 3 is 13, and then another 3-game set.
Yeah, it's Texas and Arizona.
16, 19. Okay.
4 against Philadelphia.
23.
3 against the Yankees.
26.
3 against the Cubs on the road.
Okay.
And
that's
in
29.
the month, only 2 against the Mets on the road.
Okay. So, I mean, it's 6. Right?
6 wins.
6 wins.
Probably
7.
5.5, 6.
If I give you 7,
I'd take
go under. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so I think, if you guys are watching the show, you just heard it, just tweet at us and let us
That's
know
gonna be a good
what
poll
you
question.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. How many games do you think the Rockies will win in the month of how long before the manager gets fired, right? I mean, this poor guy, he's, that is a brutal schedule. But that's how the National League is, right? The National League is so good. There's not that many cupcakes. And then when you throw in they're playing all the better teams in the American League, that's what you get. I mean, seriously, what does FanDuel offer that? Let me what do you think their updated season total would be? Does FanDuel offer that? They do. They got it. What do you think it is?
49.
They're pretty close. 45.5.
Woo!
45
wow,
and a half.
They jumped it down. Yeah, they jumped that down. 45 and 100
That's
and what?
Amazing.
That's crazy.
your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side
Yes.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't
the
that
best
it wasn't as
quarterback
good as
prospect
Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick,
Quinn
Arch
Ewers'
Manning is
team.
not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told you
incorrect.
he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have a
down on a
decent
take
season. No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over a
not, though.
7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the
Stop
history of
it.
the sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young and
State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back in game live game day here on the grid. Hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Me and Dave Sharapan until 10 p.m. Eastern time. We got a little playoff hockey, a little playoff NBA, and some Major League Baseball. Dave and I was kicking around, the Colorado Rockies to close out the last segment as we welcome in Adam Kaufman, SportsGrid radio and TV host. You see it here all the time. Going to talk some NBA with Adam, but I will throw it out there, Adam, just the goofiness with the Rockies. We're 5-25 on pace. They play San Francisco tonight, so it's our Black Cloud play of the day to go against them. FanDuel's actually got an updated over number. As you see the Black Cloud, 45.5. They're basically asking you, are they going to be worse than even the Chicago White Sox last year, who set the record with only 41 wins? If you had to, would you go over or under on that number, 45.5?
So what are they? I wish I could do this math better on the fly, but my brain is mush right now. What are they pacing
117.
For? Sitting at
45 and what? Oh, okay. What are they paced?
No, but yeah, what would they be paced? Because they're,
fifth.
like you said, they're 5-25, so they played 30 out of 162 is a little less than a fifth. So I guess they're
24.
pacing for like 28. Is that right? Is my math right on that? Like
before they got their 25th.
Yeah, like how?
When they were 4, it was 24.
Listen, I know Colorado's coming off a win. I know the Rockies are coming off a win. But how could you do anything other than take the under if you're getting a total in the 40s still? That's insane. I mean, it's like, Colorado, please, like, prove it to me. I got a baseball parlay, which now that I've even spoken it into existence, it just means it's going to lose. But I've got a parlay that, that includes like the Giants run line in that game, because if you're going to include that game, how do you not have the Giants run line? So, we'll see. I don't know. There's a part of me, and I talk about this with people. I probably talked about it with both of you, a number of times when it comes to, teams like San Jose in the NHL during the regular season, when it's like, man, they suck, and they're plus 275, but at the same time, it's hockey, it's one game. How do you not at least consider the investment because of the plus line opportunity? I don't know. It's another one of those, like, are the Rockies so bad? And the answer, I realize, is yes. But are the Rockies so bad that you just can't at least consider a sprinkle with all that plus money coming your way each and every time out, figuring that just like the last game, every once in a while they're going to do it.
Yeah. Speaking of doing it, Pistons right now trailing the Knicks. Do the Pistons do it and extend the series? Did you have any opinion, side or total, about that game?
Well, look, I told you guys before the season started that I thought, or the series started, that the Pistons were going to win this series. And Honestly, they should have by now. Like, it's ridiculous even that they're down 3-2. They have outplayed New York throughout this series. They just have a complete inability to close these games. I mean, even in this one, you see New York get off to the hot start, led by 15 points in the opening quarter. Detroit storms back, takes a lead by halftime because of that sixth Malik Beasley three. He's been scorching hot, has the 18 points, everything from distance so far. You're getting, some obviously contributions on the New York side. The Knicks are back in front by a few points at this point, but it's not overwhelming. It's not like Jalen Brunson has all out. He's starting to take over, I guess. He's got 20 points out of the 68. So, he's starting to sort of fuel them a little bit as he has to if the Knicks have any hope of closing this thing out tonight. I do still, maybe it's stupid. Maybe it's just me sticking to my guns. I would like to believe, for multiple reasons, that the Pistons are going to show a little bit of conviction and win this game in 4-7. Doesn't mean they're going to win the series, but at least force it back to New York. For one, don't go 0-3 at home during this series. You gotta win a game, especially with your season on the line, playing in your own building. You're fully healthy. You got an inconsistent New York team on the other side. They have shown that a microcosm within this game specifically, let alone during the series. Find a way to gut this thing out, win it, get on Cade's back or Beasley or, whoever it's going to be, and just get yourself back to New York. But selfishly, as a Celtics fan with this Boston backdrop behind me, I don't care who wins because Boston takes care of either of these teams. I just want it to go 7 so that whoever the winner is has to go right from this series on Saturday into that one on Monday and really gets no break in between. I don't want to see New York get the benefit of a few days off. So I would like, and plus just the entertainment value of an NBA fan, of a consumer, I would like a nice 7-game series, and I think the 2 series that we have tonight could bring us there.
All right. I think, as a fellow Celtic fan, I think the Knicks would present a bigger problem, not a problem, but a bigger issue, I'll say, than Detroit. You agree or disagree?
I'm not sure that I do, to be honest. I think Detroit is probably a little bit more problematic because I just think that they've got some different ways that they can beat you. Their role players are maybe a little bit more leaned upon in terms of, I'm talking way down, like the bench, when they go to their reserves. We could talk about starting fives and all that. Obviously, New York has the stronger top to bottom starting five. I just think defensively, I don't think Boston has, again, I don't think the Celtics have any problem with either of these teams, but in particular, I think they will score at will against the Knicks. Any way, shape, or form the Knicks would elect to try and defend the Celtics. Orlando was a legitimate task on the other side because as nothing as that offense was, defensively, they gave the Celtics real fits. Those were hard games to win, even though it was a gentleman's sweep for Boston. So the Knicks, they can't defend you in the same way. The blueprint is there, whether it's take away the threes or, give up the threes, but you're taking away the ISO when it comes to Tatum, Brown, and the others. Any which way, the Knicks, especially with Towns in the middle, aren't going to find a way to step in the middle of any of that. Boston is just going to shoot at will. They're going to attack the rim at will. And so I just think the only difference there is you are guaranteed those really higher scoring games against the Knicks. That's what I believe anyway, but I don't know. Maybe some other people see it differently.
The other the other series in the East that we know now is Cleveland and Indiana.
Yeah.
Cleveland looked great. Miami really, they didn't even try in a couple games. It was terrible.
Right.
Indiana took care of what they had to take care of with Milwaukee, and Milwaukee had a couple unfortunate breaks. Everything the way it went down. Do you give that series much of a chance of going deep, or is that kind of one of those Cleveland in 5?
Well, first of all, can we not excuse make for the Milwaukee Bucks? Doc Rivers can do enough of that, and he has been since he took over, and coaches prior, Giannis, whoever. Please, can we not? Milwaukee, don't get me wrong, it's been a tough few years since they won a championship once you get to the playoffs. They have lost Giannis from multiple first-round series. Now, obviously, the Dame issues that have happened of late, Middleton going back a few years. They have had their challenges, and I'm not going to say I feel badly for them because in a sense, every team deals with this in one form or another. They're just on this tough run right now, and it may lead to the end of Giannis. It's just you've got, at least in Milwaukee, but you've got some really weird sort of the dichotomy between these, because Milwaukee, at least still, Giannis was healthy. Dame played in part of this series, albeit not much. They're still a former champion. Indiana had to work a little bit. Cleveland was playing a team that shouldn't have been in the playoffs to begin with. And like you said, Miami just it didn't look like it belonged. It didn't look like it cared to belong. It was an embarrassment on behalf of everything that Pat Riley stands for, every fiber of being, every bone in his body. I mean, he must want to off himself with, like in the rivers of South Beach with the way that he watched that thing. So it was tough. But I think you could get a compelling series now, and I'm hoping we do.
Adam Kaufman, good job, man. We'll do it again soon. Thanks.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Thanks again, Adam Kaufman, who joins us from time to time. Little NBA thoughts from him, little baseball, obviously, as well. So back to the board we go. Little update from the NHL, and then we'll update the NBA as well, as the Knicks have reclaimed the lead against Detroit. Hockey first, though, Dave, still 2-1. Toronto over Ottawa. 8.5 minutes now left to go in the third. So getting to be real crunch time for the Ottawa Senators, who trail 3-2 in this series. And then your Golden Knights have scored. 2-1 now. They lead at Minnesota, trying to clinch that series, and they are finishing up the second period. Another late goal, I do believe. The Vegas Golden or Minnesota scored with 6 seconds left in the first period. I don't know if it was that late, but it was pretty late when Vegas just took a 2-1 lead, right? Or no, they scored earlier.
Just above 3 minutes left, which is still, in the last 5 minutes of the period is not like the last minute, but big goal for Eichel. It was a good goal. Exactly what the Knights want, right? Go on the road, have the lead going after 2. So get this thing in, and wow. So yes, we stayed under in the second period though. The total's 5.5. Over, big plus money. You go over 5.5. That's 3 goals in the third.
You really need 1 goal out of Vegas. Make it 3-1. Then Minnesota's got to pull the goaltender. 3.5 minutes left. They score to make it 4-1 with 2.5 minutes left. Final game. Why not pull the goalie as well? Get 2 empty netters. 4-1 final. Game goes over. Or 5-1 final, rather. Game goes over.
5-1 final, yeah.
Yeah, you would need 3 goals, actually. Yeah, that's
a tough spot, but I mean, it's a big price. Toronto and Ottawa, 17 shots on goal for Toronto, 15 for Ottawa. Ottawa's on a power play for the next 30 seconds. 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes left in the game. I don't want to say that Ottawa has to score right now because they don't. The way this series is going, I mean, they can get a goal after that and still win the game. But the sense of urgency has picked up. If you guys are watching this game, you can see it. Ottawa's crashing the net and knocking the net off the moorings. That was always one of my favorite things to do. Like accidentally kind of like slide into the goalie, just to let him know that there it is.
Touchdown.
There it is.
Ottawa.
There it is. Oh my goodness. Look at Craig Berube. That's it. Was that a power play? I don't know if that was on the power play. Wow. My goodness gracious. So there you have it. I mean, you got to be, you saw Berube. I mean, his head was down. You saw all those people in that outside of Toronto watching the game. They got to be going, oh no, they tied it. Oh no, they tied it. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, what an awful goal. Did you see the goal? It was behind him.
Yeah.
He shot the puck from behind the net. I've never seen that. How the hell did that go in? It was just after the power play ended.
Off his back. Yeah, it was not a power play goal.
Oh, that's a horrible goal.
Just kind of flipping
it's a bad luck goal. But...
Yeah.
Right,
wow.
The dude is from behind the net, and he just, I don't know if it was a pass, I guess. He was trying to pass it to someone in front.
A lot of times in that situation, right, you're just trying to throw it in front of the net, and if it hits the back of the goalie, bounces in, ricochets, that's fine. If not, it hits somebody in front of the net, drops down, maybe for a rebound, something like that. Crazy.
I think the goalie put it in. Oh, yeah. Hit off the goalie's back.
Hit off the goalie's back,
wow.
Yeah. Yep. Wow.
Wow. You think that was on purpose?
Tough look there. Yeah, he was trying to hit the goalie.
Yeah.
Or he was trying to hit the guy in front. Either way, yeah. You're trying to bank it off. These guys are unbelievable now with the puck. You can do all these different things. Knicks lead 86-75, third quarter, just under 4 minutes to go. I don't want to say it's done, but that's an 11-point lead for the Knicks. In-game number.
Don't say it's done.
In-game number's 9.5. 9.5.
I'd take the Pistons.
Okay.
They're not going to get blown. They're going to make a run. This hasn't been a double-digit game. It's been, Knicks controlled the first half, but they were actually trailing in halftime. And it's been pretty close. This is just the ebb and flows. We're on the ebb now. We're going to get the flows here after this timeout. I'd take the 8.5. I think.
Blue Jays beat the Red Sox 4-2.
Walk-off? Must have been.
3 runs in the bottom of the 8th.
Just as well.
It was a 3-run shot, Vladimir Guerrero. So.
It was 2-0 Boston.
Yep. 4-2 final. Yep.
How many times did the Red Sox strike out? I'll tell you what, we said this last year with this team. Same thing this year. They're the number 1 strikeout team in all of baseball. They get the most strikeouts out of anybody. Tonight they struck out how many times? Only 10, which for them isn't bad. But it's strikeout props. Berrios was 4.5 today. He got 8. The Red Sox are a strikeout machine. Keep betting every
only
day.
10. There's only 27 outs. 10 is a lot, is it not?
I know. It is. The Red Sox, they strike out 12, 13, 14 times. Not with the starter, but, it's nuts. They get the most strikeouts. And I think it's not even close. I'll go to the stats, because I'm starting doing the strikeout props, and it's just bonkers. You listen to their broadcast, and the guys are like crying on the air because they're striking out so much. They have 312 strikeouts in 30 games. The Stankies are second with 296 in 31. Oh, no, I'm looking at the Red Sox. I'm looking at the Rockies. So Rockies got 312 in 30. That figures. Stanks have 296 in 31 games. Red Sox 293 in 32 games. So Yanks, Red Sox, and Rockies. 3 worst teams strikeout-wise.
Wow.
Tigers.
Right.
Tigers are next in line, believe it or not. Got a
The
lot
Tigers
of good teams that are in the top 10.
Right. Well, when you hit home runs to make up for the Ks, it works out okay. Right? So you can kind of balance that off. Johnny Roast Beef tweeted at us. He said, do you remember the seats at Shea Stadium? They called them the nosebleeds for a reason. He said vendors wouldn't even come up to the upper ones.
Yeah, they wouldn't even come up that high. Yeah,
man.
Yankee Stadium as well. Yankee Stadium. That's where we went to as kids. In the upper, you'd have to walk down because the concession folks wouldn't go that high. It's amazing.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
I told you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take
that is incorrect. The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play.
He's not so. There were 2 perfectly rated quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2. Little hockey update from Canada. We have the Ottawa Senators challenging the Toronto Maple Leafs. Waiting for the blow. The blow.
Maxie,
Toronto.
Pacioretty. Oh,
wow.
My goodness.
Didn't even know he was still in the league.
Right?
3-2, yeah. That's right. That 5.5.
Yeah, that's his
3-2
first
now,
goal.
you would think.
Of course,
A
Matt
long
might be his
time.
first goal all season, let alone in the playoffs. But Max Pacioretty from Domi, 14:21 of the period. So now it's white knuckle time for the Maple Leafs, right? Hold on. Hold
13 to
on. Man.
13-1 if you want them. 4.5 minutes left.
What do you mean 13-1? Oh, the Senators.
No, yeah,
Oh, no.
Senators.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Want to bet over 5.5 minus 260? Put it in a parlay. Got to get an empty netter.
We said we were going to get 6. Yeah,
you
we're
got to
going
pull
to
the goalie with
no?
3.5 minutes left, right? You would think. What can we do it with? Vegas minus 530. I don't trust that.
Whoa.
Baseball.
Why not
We got
Edmonton?
NBA.
Put it with the Oilers.
Nah, I'm gonna get a lock. Knicks minus 850.
A lock.
Yeah, that only brings it down to minus 183. Clippers.
Might as well go all in and put it with the Giants. Put it with the Giants.
Oh, or Giants. There you go. We got a lot,
right?
But yeah, you can never have too much against
right?
Colorado. So let's put it with the Giants minus 270. That brings it down to minus 113. I like that. We're gonna put that in. You got to get an empty netter. But they just odds decreased. Naturally, they did. Of course, they did. I'm trying to put it in. Why would they decrease? It's amazing how they decrease. Yeah, they decrease as soon as I start putting it in. All right, so we got it in over 5.5 minus 255.
Okay.
And then Colorado, or then San Francisco against Colorado.
Wow, my book has 6.5
left. Really?
That's crazy. Yeah, 6.5 under minus 300 though, or over 6.5 plus 240. Can't bet that. That's absurd.
Well, you get two empty netters.
2 more goals.
Actually, it's the perfect one. Well, listen, there's 3.5 minutes left. How long before Ottawa pulls the goalie? Another 30 seconds? Now you're down 4-2, we'll say. You could easily get 2 more. This is the ideal time to get 2 more. When you give up the empty netter, you're only down 2 goals. You're not going to give up. There could be a minute left. You're not going to give up an elimination game. I'd take a flyer on that.
I don't think you pulled a goalie until you got 2 minutes left. You think you're going to pull the goalie before 2 minutes?
I would. As soon as you get it in the offensive end, you only scored twice. I wouldn't wait too long.
We're under the 330 mark on it yet, so.
Yeah, that's why they're the Ottawa Senators,
Well, they can't control the puck in the zone. This is a problem right now. So you got to get the puck in the zone, and then you got to get a whistle. I'm with. I don't know. I guess it's a little old school more, but I would not pull the goalie until at least. A pause of play, maybe 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes left. Because you lose a face-off with empty net. See, he's still in.
That's it.
We're under the 3-minute mark. So, okay. I think we're only getting 1 empty netter.
I see you locked up on FanDuel.
Oh, boy.
It
just locked up on mine, too. It just locked up on mine as well.
Little penalty, maybe? You know how these refs are. Used to be.
Oh, my goodness.
Give Ottawa one more shot. One more shot at glory. See, now they had the puck at 3 minutes. I would have pulled it dead in the offensive end. But we'll see.
Toronto's doing a really good job of keeping the puck moving, so nobody can get a whistle. So we're still going with the clock. At least on the video. Wow.
I see 49 seconds left on FanDuel. No goal
Knicks
yet.
up 10. Knicks up 10.
Knicks up 10.
Yep.
They're going to clinch tonight. I did like them tonight. I think one series ends and one series continues. So I will let you know what happens here in Toronto and Ottawa when we come back. Goodbye.
your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never
They
does.
played side by side
DRS.
with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it be
very
Quinn
clear
Ewers' program?
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
I
It
just
is
told
incorrect.
you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm
you're
buying
doing
him
your
because
thing now
I
where you
expect him to
double
have a
down on a
decent season.
take
No, I'm
that
not
is
doing that.
incorrect
The
when I
best
show it's
quarterback
incorrect.
prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not,
a 7th-round
There were
pick
two
who didn't even
perfectly
play
rated
good.
quarterback
Stop
recruits
it.
in the history
Stop
of the
it.
sport.
Quinn
Vince
Ewers couldn't
Young
even play at
and
Ohio
Quinn
State.
Ewers.
He couldn't even play at
Vince
Ohio
Young and
State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. It's over.
It's over.
4-2.
4-2.
Final.
4-2.
Got one empty netter.
4-2.
Nylander with the empty netter. Second on the game. All right, so the over hits. Another over in hockey. Right,
Yep.
we got that. This is now... Where are we? NHL overs now 25-16. Favorites wanting. Who was favored in this game? Toronto.
It actually went off as a small, pick 'em. Like you could, depending on. So if you want to go with the closing number, at a lot of places, the majority, I think. I think you got to say Ottawa's favored.
Yeah.
The way this came out. Yeah.
So favorite loses, home team loses, which is rare as well. 27-14 now are the home teams. Listen, they put up a good fight. I don't think they were necessarily playing with quite as much house money as Montreal was. I mean, I gave a shot to win this series. I really did. They had their chances there. You know, they tied it up late. And Mark, this is why he's not a Boston Bruin. The guy never performed in a postseason for the Bruins. He lets up a goal. It was he was screened, but I'm one of those guys that says if it goes in between your legs or over your shoulder or behind you, it's your fault. You're the goalie. Find a way to make the save. So,
man, you're tough. You'd be tough. You'd be a tough coach on the goalies, man. Oh,
yeah, I would. I would be. Stop the puck. You got your body. You got your stick. You got a glove. I mean, you got the equipment is 5,000 inches wide. Get your body in front of it, So that's why he's not a Bruin. Now Bruin fans now are just like, we knew it, So 4-2.
So here's your handshake line, Craig Berube.
That opening handshake line.
Moves on. Toronto gets through. This is great because we have Cam coming up next, and Cam. I don't think he had Scott Scheffler lead to being a first-round leader. So the Maple Leafs winning will cheer him up. And the Blue Jays won. So usually the Toronto two-step doesn't usually hold, when either the Raptors play and, the Maple Leafs play. They don't always win the same night, but at least the Blue Jays won and the Maple Leafs won. So I feel good for Cam. I feel good for Toronto. What's the series number?
It's posted.
What was the season? What was the season series between these two teams? I'm curious.
That's a good question. I'll find
How
out.
many times they play?
Toronto has home ice
Right.
advantage. Toronto was the number 1 team, so they had home ice advantage. No, that I'm surprised with it. That makes it any more crazier. Toronto against Florida.
Toronto's favored. If you're surprised, Toronto's favored. I would think.
Toronto's got home ice.
Yeah, I think I make it a pick 'em or Florida minus 115 or 120.
Not even close. Florida,
How
they
big
were
of a-
0-2. 1-2. Toronto was 1-3 against Florida. Florida's favored.
Yeah, I'd make Florida a small favorite. Is it more than minus 150?
Yeah.
It is?
Well past 150.
Wow.
Well, albeit within reason.
170?
Minus 176 on FanDuel right now. And Toronto's got home ice advantage. And they're still plus 146 coming back the other way. Wow.
Well, that's the split price, meaning that Florida's winning a game, if not game one.
Right.
That's what that tells me. They already have it down where they're going to be. Because what's the game one price? If that's the series price, what's the game one price? That's surprising.
Yeah, let's see if they got a game one on FanDuel. I know, right?
Florida
176.
Florida minus 120 for game one makes sense to me. So I thought that would be the series price, maybe a little bit more, but man, that's a lot. Wow.
Begging for Toronto money?
Yeah.
But that's seemingly it, right? I can't lay $1.76, even though I think they're going to win. But
I mean, Florida is the game one in series price favorite. If you take Florida to win game one and Florida to win the series, it's plus 135. So that is wow. Well,
Florida minus 1.5 games plus 118. Total games in the series, 5.5 minus 194. 118 if you don't think it's going to go 7. Well, they really love Florida.
That's heavy. Yeah, that's surprising that it's that much. Well, I don't know. We'll get Cam's raw reaction right away. That's good. Nobody's giving him a shot, and the books will have this number up. It'll be up all over the place here. In the next 30 minutes to an hour, and could talk about it for a couple days. When's that series start? Do we have a game one yet? Let's see.
That's a good question. Sunday, maybe? Today's what, Thursday? Give them Friday, Saturday off?
Because Carolina and Washington, it looks like it's on Monday.
You got 4 already on Saturday, so it won't be Saturday. Oh, no, you don't have Ottawa-Toronto on Saturday. So since they had Ottawa-Toronto scheduled for Saturday, that was the early game, too. Would they make Toronto-Florida in that time slot?
All depends on if
TBA.
The rink's available, right? Well, I mean, obviously the rink was available for Toronto there, yeah.
Heater done, clearly.
Yeah.
So, but they have only one for Sunday. I'd be surprised that if they don't play Sunday. They're not going to do 4 on Saturday and only 1 on Sunday, right? They got to go 3-2. I would think. That's the NHL. They're so goofy.
Right.
Winnipeg and St. Louis is going to be your marquee matchup. I don't think the NHL is too thrilled. Well, I shouldn't say
Why?
that. I don't think the TV executives, they don't want Toronto. Not that they wanted Ottawa. So actually, you know what?
What?
They probably are. Well,
Talking about Toronto's an institution.
Yeah, in Canada,
Look
but
at
not
my
in the
hat.
United States.
That's pretty nice.
I get that. Nice
I'm
little
glad-
3-league
I'm 1-0
clover.
in the
I
hat.
do like that.
I'm 1-0 in the hat.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's undefeated.
Go Leafs.
I do like that. They should have hockey sticks, next to the leaf, going up and down on each
What?
side. Yeah.
This is clean. Like the kids say, this is clean. That's a clean hat right there, sir. That is a clean hat. Got the thing on the side, too. The Leafs. Yeah, come on.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
That's
I didn't see the thing on the
pretty
side. I
sharp.
like the side thing.
Yeah, pretty
It's
sharp.
only on one side. It's like a Pittsburgh Steeler hat. It's only on one side. The one thing.
True. Yeah, they only got the logo on one side in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm still not over it. Skeens lost today. I mean, the Pirates are like what are they? 3-4 in Skeens starts. 7 Skeens starts. Pirates are 3-4. They're going to be on pace to lose as many as he only had 2.
Yeah.
He's not striking guys out again. Yeah.
Nope. Got to play his under. I tell you, strikeouts are down. I keep on saying it, but it's true all across the board. 2 strikeouts only today in 5 innings against the Cubs are one of the better. That's why we played his under on the podcast. They're one of the better non-strikeout teams, if you will. But how many games have a combined 4 strikeouts in Major League Baseball? Cubs only had 2 today. The Pirates only had 2. That's what you get with getaway day games. They're swinging.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn
they've ever
Ewers.
got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian
Why
made
would it
very
be Quinn
clear
Ewers'
the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong.
It is incorrect. I just told you he's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take that is incorrect.
The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play
He's
over
not
a 7th-round pick
There were 2
who didn't even play good.
Quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers. Go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
And welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave, hour number 2, as we welcome in our good buddy Cam Stewart, who takes over along with Gabe Morency at the top of the hour, who's got to be happy. He's got the Toronto 2-step as the Blue Jays beat my Red Sox, and obviously Toronto, as we were talking about, just beat the Ottawa Senators. So what's going on, Cam? You got to be a happy man.
Well, that happens about once every 3rd month, maybe. We can get like a Jays Leafs win. Scott, I love you too. You make me laugh and you bring up a lot of good points.
My wife cooks and cleans. I'll tell you that. It's more than my wife cooks and cleans.
Settle down, Wetzel. I cook, I clean, I bet. Now, but I've created gambler upstairs. When Ottawa scored that 2nd goal, she's like, I go, relax. We're still tied. Like she's taking it harder than me. Anyway, the props with Matthew Nyes' score didn't come in, but I don't care. Bottom line is this. I heard Wetzel during the break, Dave. I take offense to a few things, even though I love him. The Leafs are a popular brand. The only thing that would have happened, Florida versus Ottawa, Kachuk versus Kachuk is the storyline. But other than that, Toronto versus Florida, that's a very popular series. And by the way, you guys talked about that number. I don't give a crap if the Leafs are gaggers. The Florida should be like $1.50 in that series, not $1.86, maybe $1.45. Or hey, at least as you said, they have home ice. But the problem with the Leafs and home ice is I'd rather them not have home ice and get them at plus 220. They're better on the road. The atmosphere, they're much better. Like I like the way they play on the road. Yes,
that price may switch very quick.
Yeah,
that may switch very quick. Speaking of price tonight, Colorado's a gigantic favorite. I mean, I cannot believe it's that
ridiculous.
High. Is it? Do you like the other side?
Yeah. I'm taking both dogs tonight. You know, I'd say, no, what, Wetzel? I'm not this patriotic Canadian, whatever. I care about my wallet because I got a mortgage to pay. I'm taking the Los Angeles Kings to bounce back against the Oilers at a huge price, and I'm taking Dallas. I hope one of them wins, if not both. I think the Colorado Avalanche, Dave, and you worked in a book, are probably the most overrated line team going. Like, they're laying $1.80 against the Dallas Stars who kicked their ass. Like, Colorado should be about $1.40 in this. The respect they get from the sportsbook, they can win, sure. They're favorites for a reason. They're on the ropes. There's no guarantees. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Lakers. Like, things can happen. Like, there's no reason the Colorado Avalanche should be minus 180 tonight with their goaltending. Dallas has wicked players. Like, the problem with the Kings is their coach just basically the guy's playing 4 defensemen. Like, Hiller sucks. He needs to be fired, but it's a real problem. Like, for people that know hockey, this guy's killing his team, but I'm going to take a chance. What do you do to Edmonton tonight? You do what you do. You score early, and then you clamp down because these guys have a history of coming back. So you give me the Kings, you give me the Stars, and Dave, for baseball fans, you should see my dumpster pick tonight. You're not even going to believe who I'm taking tonight. The worst team in baseball.
Don't say it. Oh,
I'm doing it.
Goodness.
I'm doing it.
Cam
Hey,
would bet against
Verlander.
the Colorado Avalanche, bet on the Colorado Rockies.
Hey, you know what? I want to bet a prop. The Colorado two-step with Rockies winning and Avs losing. You give me like 12 to 1.
Wow.
Actually, let me put that.
You probably would get that, right? I'll
Hold
put it in right
We're gonna
now.
see what
I'll
that
tell
is,
you.
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
It's
I get it.
7.5 to 1.
Okay, should be higher. But anyway, Verlander's fine. I know he's good, but we talk about spot plays. We talk about situations. I don't mind Freeland at home. I think the number's way out of whack. You guys know me. Sometimes I do dumb things and I bet on too many dogs. But I'll tell you one thing, that line is stupid. I even think the Angels line is stupid. Everyone's going to, that feels like a rope-a-dope line too. If you look at Kikuchi, if you go down and actually dig deeper into his numbers, he's actually had a lot of bad luck. You know what I mean? That's what happens in baseball sometimes. Dave, you know that. He's actually not that bad. Like, no offense, I know Detroit's hot. You want to lay 55, 60 cents with Mize? Be my guest. I'm not doing it.
I got something for you, and you can take this to you and Gabe can discuss this later if you get time on your show. So right now, through April, the Rockies are 1 game worse than the 121 loss Chicago White Sox from last season, 6-24. Chicago's schedule in May is brutal, with their next 29 games coming against teams currently above 500. 29 games. Their next 29 games are all against teams over 500. How many games do they win of those 29? If I got to give you a number right now, if I say 6.5, you going over or under?
Under. I think they win probably 6.
6 is the number.
Yeah.
That's what
the
we
number.
said.
Colorado, no, we talked about it. These guys are like playing worse than the White Sox. They look awful. But sometimes it's baseball. Sometimes you take a chance. Sometimes bad teams win. And I think this line is truly inflated. And hey, you're right, Scott. Like, it's probably not like a genius play. People go, ooh. It's about, I gamble for a lot of things. I just look for bad lines and value. And you can, when these dogs come in, you make money. I don't care if I lose the game. I just want to build it with a bunch of pluses. The one favorite I like tonight is on the hardwood. I like the Clippers tonight.
That's where I was going to go next. What do you think? Clippers, they cover the 6?
I think they win by double digits tonight. I think they win by 12. Yeah. That's just my opinion.
That's what I think too.
Yeah. Are the Knicks still winning? Are the Knicks still winning?
Yeah. It's down to 7. 103.96 with almost 8 minutes left. Line's
Crazy.
down to 6.5. We took Detroit to 8.5 a little while back.
Cam, were you surprised? with the Lakers losing last night, the way they did, or just not at all, right?
Not at all. We're on Minnesota. Me and Gabe talked about it. He had the series spread. I actually had them in the series as dogs to beat the Lakers. The Lakers have no bench. They have guys who are just like, it's a gong show there. Like the Lakers is a favorite? No, thank you. Like LeBron's an older guy now. You know what I mean? Luka hits the buffet harder than me before I had diabetes. Like he's fragile. This team doesn't play a lot of defense. We're really like the Minnesota Timberwolves are actually, I'm proud of them for beating the Lakers. And it was kind of weird because you guys know the network you think Toronto Wetzel, you're laughing at Toronto? Minnesota as a sports market, how their ratings. Like this could be a disaster for the NBA. Indiana's still around. Minnesota, all these teams that nobody cares about. The Pistons.
Yeah, they better hope the Knicks win. Yeah, the days of LeBron dominating.
Yes. By the way, our first round leaders, Scott, I got to mention this to everybody. Yes. We have to, if you find a book, you need to each weigh 1 to 5 or 1 to 6, because we had 4 of our guys T4 right now. Scotty Scheffler is minus 190 to win with a one-shot lead.
Insane.
How's that?
That's nuts. That's nuts.
Your college performance does not relate to the National Football League. It never does.
They played side by side with each other, and he wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. That's an issue. That's a major issue.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers.
Ever got to Texas.
It wasn't that it wasn't as good as Quinn Ewers. It was Quinn Ewers' program, which Steve Sarkisian made very clear the entirety of the time that Arch Manning was in Austin. So for you to argue that because Ewers is a 7th-round pick, Arch Manning is not that good and not deserving of being first overall is asinine. It is wrong. It is incorrect.
He's going to be number 1 overall. My whole thing was I'm buying
you're doing your thing now where you double down on a take
that is incorrect. The best quarterback prospect to ever hit college football can't play.
He's
over
not
a 7th-round pick.
There were 2
who didn't even play good
quarterback recruits in the history of the sport.
Quinn Ewers couldn't even play at Ohio State. He couldn't even play at Ohio State.
Quinn Ewers, go look it up.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Dave wrapping up shop here. Thanks again, Cam Stewart, Cam and Gabe at the top of the hour. SportsGrid Radio, SportsGrid TV. Just keeping an eye. Knicks blew another big lead, boy. It's nothing but runs in this game. Knicks going out by 9, 10, 11 points, and then the Pistons, they're not going to roll over, right? So Knicks just had a 10-point lead. Now it's tied, 103 all, with 6 minutes still left. Yeah, that's a monster number. It's amazing, Dave, how some of these games, when they want to play defense, they can play defense. But then you get these games like tonight, elimination game. It's 103 points apiece, and you still got 6 minutes left. They give you an over-under of over 230, 233 and a half. It's crazy.
Game
Pick them now on the line, by the way.
Too. So, it's just it's different. Playoff basketball is different. Try to explain it to people all the time. take a lot out of what you saw in the regular season. Doesn't really apply to this. I still think the Pistons are going to extend the series. I'm still good with that right now. Plus 105, even money. It's going to jump back and forth between the two. 234, though. That seems a little bit high. Under.
Yeah. That's a lot. It's somewhere along the line, they're going to walk the ball up the court. Yeah, unless the thing goes to overtime. But if you grabbed the Pistons before plus 8.5 when we suggested it, clearly if you wanted to, get a nice little fat 8-point middle or so, take the Knicks now, or take the Knicks now at, pick them. It's funny. The minus a half a point is minus 128, and then the money line is minus 118. So
it's a quirk. It's a quirk in the software. It should never exist. That should either be pick 'em, and they should be the same line. There should never be a minus a half and a different juice than actually the money line. Good news for the Black Cloud play of the night. The Giants already have a run. It's 1-0 in the bottom of the first. They have a run before they got an out. So, man,
runner on first base too.
We're gonna have to keep track of that. Somebody.
Yeah.
Either, behind the scenes, keep track of the daily wins for the Colorado Rockies. I think we get under 6.5.
White Sox last year, Dave, won 4 in a row, one time, believe it or not. They won 3 in a row like 2 other times out of their 41 wins, right?
Yeah.
How many wins in a row do you think the Rockies will get this year? You think they'll get 4?
I think maybe one time.
Somewhere along the line.
Not in May.
No,
they're not going to do it in May. That's all with that schedule. I don't think they're going to do it in May. I said last year on a different show that I thought the White Sox would do it twice or 3 times. Dead wrong. Dead wrong. Now, after seeing that and watching the way it's going, I think it's just one time. You would think there would be 2 4-game winning streaks. But, historically bad team, losing that many games, winning only in the 40s. Prior to that, I don't remember a team only winning or not winning 50 games. I don't remember anything that ever happening.
Yeah. I looked this up, believe it or not, 2 years ago, I think it was. I forget what team it was. May have been Oakland. 2 years ago, Oakland was 50 and 112. But I looked up all worst teams in the history of baseball, and they all, it was a pretty good team. It was San Diego, believe it or not. I looked it up, and all the worst teams in the history of baseball, all at one point won 4 in a row. And the Padres in September, and they were like a 500 team. It was the craziest thing. Hadn't won 4 in a row. In the end, they did win 4 in a row. So,
wow.
No team in the history of baseball has not won at least 4 in a row. I don't know if the Rockies get it. I 4 in a row.
I think they will. That is crazy. Yeah. That is crazy. Even the 62 Mets.
The worst teams.
Even Mets, the 62
Mets. Yep.
Wow.
They won 4 in a row. I remember looking at that was, the main one. I figured, okay, they couldn't have, but they did I think it was in April or May or something along those lines. Yeah.
Okay.
So
wow,
they might not get it. It's amazing.
Who wins, Knicks or Pistons?
I still think the Knicks finish it up. I still like them. They got to get it done tonight. Clippers, Nuggets. We got a game 7.
Yes, but Nuggets will win game 7. We'll discuss that more tomorrow.
Yeah, game 7, Edmonton, LA, and Colorado, Dallas.
I think both home teams win.
Yeah.
You?
Edmonton, LA is over. Yeah, same thing. Colorado finds a way to get a win. And Minnesota's still down 2-1, 6.5 minutes left. Great job, Dave. We'll do it again tomorrow right here on the Grid.